Well, hello, Bree Bree.
Hey girl, hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Oh,
How you doing, girl?
oh, I'm good, girl. I'm fine. Hanging in here.
Ah,
Hanging in here.
I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that.
Well, do you want to do the theme
Oh,
song?
yeah, I don't know why I be forgetting my greatness. You know what I'm
Me either. I don't know. I don't
saying?
understand.
My check. Welcome, welcome back. Okay. You gotta find a note. You gotta
Uh,
find a note.
you found
Yeah,
it. I'm just trying to make sure you found it. You got it. Okay, you got it. All right.
welcome back.
Uh-huh.
The girl, she did
Uh-huh.
that. Welcome back. Yeah,
Okay, girl. Girl.
because she did that.
So, this is our, last episode of season 1.
Season 1.
Can you
Yeah.
believe it?
I cannot actually because it's just been through so much. And I just feel like we just have so many hurdles that we went through to get here. And it just doesn't feel real. Sorry.
You want to thank who you want to thank? I want to thank my mom. I want
I
to thank
want to
God.
thank my
I want to thank
mama.
my
I want
mom.
to thank the Lord. I want to thank myself. I want to thank you. I just want to thank everybody. Okay. It's been an honor. Oh,
An honor. It's been an
an
honor
honor
and a pleasure
and a pleasure.
and a pleasure. First of all, thank our viewers, listeners, all the good
Yes.
stuff because you guys have really been listening to our stuff and
Mm-hmm.
I am impressed. We all over
Mm-hmm.
America and
The American.
outside of America. We got people listening to us
Mm-hmm.
outside of America, so
Yes.
that's fabulous. So we are
Yeah.
excited about that. Season 2 will be coming back in the end of September.
September.
And we coming
Mm-hmm.
back bigger and better than ever.
Yeah. Boom, pop, boom. That was the crowd.
That was your I love it. I love it. You need to include
Yeah.
that more often. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I
All
know.
right, so what we drinking on this last episode?
Same old, yeah.
Okay, I'm happy for you. I'm drinking this blueberry something.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. Not rinse and repeat. Anyways,
Yes, repeat it. It's good. It's so good.
so today we are going to be honoring another Olympian,
Ooh.
Jordan Charles. Congratulations.
Wait, what? Didn't they take her medals or something away from her? What?
So they did take it away,
Uh-uh.
and we are supposed to be rising that dunk.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Putting them hands on. They did. I think that they like challenged it, or I don't know the details, but they did take away her bronze medal from her.
They might as well just go ahead and give
But
it
she
back.
still got gold.
She still got gold. Okay.
Correct. So she still got gold for the team.
Okay.
But individually, yes, they did take that from her. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, they got to do better with that because that don't make no sense.
Agreed. Because, we have the pictures with her and, we were all in celebration, and to take something back from somebody after the fact, it's crazy. Like
Trifling.
sometimes you just gotta be like, yeah, like it was supposed to be me. Like you could just have that speech and just go around the world with them interviews.
Right.
But to take something from somebody when at that moment she had earned it, but then it was like, oh well, we like check some things and we just gonna take it back. Like
Yeah,
that's trash.
nah. Yeah, I agree.
For sure.
They should have did that. Okay, girl, we proud of you because, girl, you know what? You did that. In spite of.
That.
In spite
Okay.
of.
Yeah. That's the floor. That's the floor pose.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brie, you stupid. All right, so this last episode, what we talking about? The very last one.
So we are going to be talking about what is considered healed enough before entering a relationship.
Oh, here we go. Just so y'all know,
What
Brie, I
do you
could pick
better-
this topic. She picked this topic. Just so y'all know. Okay, all right.
Why? But we were in agreement. So why does it even matter who picked the topic?
Girl, okay. So what's your thoughts?
Okay, not too much.
What's your thoughts?
Okay, so first of all, I would say that although we are very big on this healing season in society just in general, I want to first start off and let people know, like, you won't ever be completely healed, and that you're still going to bring something to the relationship.
America is in the healing season right now.
In the healing?
Yes, society in the healing season.
Well, like, it's been a lot of talk of like, oh, I'm healing. I'm in my healing girl era, all that stuff. So,
Okay, all right.
But I want people to understand that, like, you're still going to come to the table with your own stuff.
Sure.
Regardless.
Mm-hmm.
However, how much bags you plan on bringing is the question. Because some of this stuff you can unpack and take out. Some of the stuff is actually dirty. So you can actually go put that in the washer. Okay? Fold it up, put it in the dresser, hang it up in the closet. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, so one of the things about being healed enough is acknowledging what happened in the previous relationship. Your part and also the other person's part. I think that oftentimes there's one party that feels like they don't have much to heal from because they weren't the blame for the failure of the relationship. Mm-hmm. Or sometimes people lead with their ego and pride that they dismiss what they do, mm-hmm. and they end up bringing those same characteristics to the next relationship. So I think that acknowledging that, hey, I'm not perfect, but, or I'm not fully to blame for the failure of this relationship, but there are pieces of me that I probably should change or alter before going on into this next relationship to prevent having this situation happen to me again.
And how many people have actually done that?
Personally?
I mean, personally, or we can speak more open. Like, how many people in America you think have done it?
I honestly don't think that there's that many people in America who do that.
Okay.
I think that that's something that we need to work on as a society, because the improvement of emotional health is just at an all-time low in general. So, and especially when we are in a society where people are like, oh yeah, like somebody will accept you for whatever, and there is somebody for everybody, but why not, again, pack a lighter suitcase when you go into a, because it's also not just so that you can be accepted by somebody else, but it's also about you carrying a lighter weight to the relationship. Like, for example, like I know with my previous relationship, I saw what?
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Just want y'all to know that my sisters don't never talk about none of this type of stuff openly. Privately, yes. Openly, no. But I'm telling you, come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Take me higher,
Okay, go.
But no, like in my previous relationship, I realized the growth from 20s to 30s. There were some disagreements and actions that took place that I would have naturally reacted and it would have been negative and would have gone left.
Mm-hmm,
Right.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But because I sat still and was like, okay, what's going on? What's happening? That there was nothing to, I could only look at the behavior and not necessarily just how we both interacted with each other. If that makes sense. Like sometimes people get distracted by how you reacted and not the issue at hand.
Sure.
Like the issue at hand is, for example, we're not spending enough time with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So when a person lashes out and calls you out your name, you want to focus on that. But the main issue, the foundation, was quality time. So that ends up being pushed to the side because now we want to be distracted by something else because you know that you're not spending quality time with this person. And you probably don't have a new plan to try to rearrange your schedule to spend more time with this person. So you get distracted by something else that's not relevant to the conversation.
What we call deflection.
Called deflection. And sometimes gaslighting.
Absolutely. Absolutely when you don't want to use assertive communication.
Correct. But if you are a person who always reacts when someone does something that you disapprove of, then you end up becoming a part of the distraction versus being like, hold on, let me take a second. Wait, what did you just do? Like, I don't know about that. So I think that was something that a healed part of me that I've done on my own that I brought to another relationship is that I don't always have to act out to get the things that I want.
Look at 20-year-old Bree being healed. 20-year-old Bree being healed.
So you just don't have to lash out and be loud and outrage. Like you can hear me at this level right here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we can really get to the nitty-gritty of whether you want to change or not. So I think that that's a part of the healing process is that, and I think that also just comes with age.
Sure.
Like it just comes with age. So I think that just knowing what you've done in previous relationships and how that impacts the next relationship and how, the next relationship, the things that you probably have discovered, some unhealed things, being like, okay, I probably need to touch on those things, but I ain't going to do it with him. I'm going to do it with somebody else.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's funny because you just made me think about, that husband of mine. I think it was before we got married, we had a disagreement. And my go-to in any sort of conflict or argument is I'm not scared of you. I don't know why I use that.
How do we?
I'm not scared of you. I think I'm a little G out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not scared of you. And one day we was having a disagreement and I said that to him. I said, I'm not scared of you. And he stopped me dead in my tracks. He said, baby boo, I don't want you to be scared of me. And I just broke down and started crying. I was like, oh my God, I need to hear that part of myself. It's funny now, but I'm like, man, I got some more work to do. This man is saying, I don't want you to be scared of me, fool. I love you. I care about you. There's no reason for you to have any sort of fear between us, right? You are safe. You are safe here. And and that's the work I had to start doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not go to, as a defense mechanism. I'm not scared of you, but.
Yeah, I think mine's is I've lost bigger. Like I've lost bigger things in this relationship. Good.
Oh,
this was fun. This was cute.
Oh, Brie, that's nasty.
Yeah, like I'm taking bigger L's. Like,
I done lost. That's cut you deep right there.
I know. I told you I'm working on it, and I'll say it very calmly, like this.
I can imagine.
I'm taking bigger L's. I'm good.
Like you ain't shit.
It's not that you ain't, shit. But it's just that, like, I don't know. It's for me. It's the protection. Like, You know, like I have taken, in my eyes, I've taken bigger L's. I've taken bigger losses than just a relationship. And so, but that's not fair to either party.
Right.
You know, it's not fair to me. That's not fair to him. But yeah, I think that that's mine. That I think that I never use that, but that's always that's the thing that plays in my mind. Like, Brecca, you've lost bigger. You've taken bigger L's.
That's deep.
So, although I may not speak it and say it to that person,
but your actions speak it though.
Yes. It's like, oh, okay. Like, I don't have to deal with this. Like, this is not necessary. Like, I don't have any permanent things or situations with you. Thank you for your service. You know?
Not thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. Thank you.
Ooh.
Yeah. So,
that was good, Bree. That was good. Yeah. You sweating and everything. That was great.
I know. Glistening?
I'm proud of you for growing up before my eyes.
Light.
I'm proud of you.
But it's so one is like getting close. No, one is honesty with yourself about how and why the previous relationship ended. We kind of hit on that. And being able to articulate the lesson learned.
Yeah.
So I think that sometimes people kind of touch on this too, like just hold that grudge of like, oh, this person did this to me, oh, this person did that to me, or you know, whatever the case may be. And I think that that is something that people hold on so dearly because it's not allowing them to take accountability. And what I've learned is that like accountability is like probably the biggest pill you have to swallow, as we put more accountability on adults, but I feel like it should be something that is from adolescence to adulthood. Just accountability so that it doesn't feel like you're being hit with so many things as an adult. Kind of like when you turn 18, everybody's like, all right, cool. Like you got to do an adult. You know how to do taxes. You know how to do real estate. You know how to, you know, you grown now. So, you know, off to the world. But I think that we do that emotionally to people too. Like, okay, well now you 18, you should know how to articulate yourself. You should know how to, you know, communicate. You should know how to deal with conflict. You should know how to, you know, do all these things. You should know how to regulate your emotions. You know, all these things that people put the expectation on you automatically without taking into consideration where you come from, how you grew up, and how you take accountability. So, and I think that oftentimes people, that's why people feel like accountability is an attack versus feeling like, oh, this is just me being honest with myself.
That's good.
And allowing you to be in the space of me being honest with myself. That's what, to me, accountability is. So, yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of just a reminder, especially when you have done wrong in a relationship or you have done something that hasn't really been nice to somebody. Taking that accountability can be a hard thing to deal with. Yeah. So I definitely have grown out of that. But I think that accountability that's just not even just in relationships, but that's in friendships and with family members. It's taking accountability for situations that you played a part in. And you're like, you know, nobody wants to feel like they're the one to blame. Right. Nobody wants to feel like they're the bad guy. Nobody wants to feel like they hurt somebody, intentional or unintentional. Everybody wants to be relieved of that, like, oh, not me. Right. But sometimes it is you.
That's self-accountability. But you know what? Sometimes people, we don't give ourselves enough permission to have the space to sit in that type of stuff, right? Because we want to stay busy, right? We want to avoid. I will say COVID was my time to sit and reflect. Like I was on punishment. That's what it felt like. I feel like I was like in a space where, okay, I need to sit down and think about some things and think about how do I want this next part of my life to go, right? I'm entering my 30s. What do I want this to look like, right? Do I want to show up and be the same Sandy I was in relationships in my 20s, right? Am I going to speak life in actually finding a partner that I want to attract? Because we know we attract people, you know, when we feel less than ourselves, right? And we attract those type of people into our lives, right? But we don't want to talk about that part of it because we don't want to talk about our insecurities, right? Because we all have them. It's just us acknowledging them and working on them. But I think we need to spend more time or space reflecting upon introspection. I think that's where I'm trying to go with this. We need that.
Yeah, I think that for my next relationship, I think speaking more on my insecurities is something that I feel like is important, but I also feel like where's the line, or how do you detect that that person is safe enough to talk about those insecurities where you don't feel like that's being thrown back into your face? Because that's also happened to me as well in relationships. Is that like, you know, you sit here and you say like, oh yeah, like I have abandonment issues because of X, Y, Z, and then the next thing you know, you hear like, oh well, you know, I know you got abandonment issues, so like I don't even know why you acting like that. Like, what they got to do?
Right. What
they got
I'm
to do?
talking about right now.
What we talking about right now?
Right.
I just asked you if we were going out on a date this weekend or not.
Right.
Like,
That's
why
it.
are we talking about abandonment issues? I'm a little bit confused. So I think that that's the thing, and I think that also just being in relationships, the risk that it takes to be in another relationship is a scary part, because regardless if this person checks all the boxes or they got pink, red, whatever flags, you still are taking a risk.
Yep.
You know how calculated that is, only time will tell. But I think that, you know, we also, that's why I said that you can't be completely healed, because it's still a risk. You know, regardless if you have all the information up front or whatever you may feel like to make a decision to move forward and make this a long-term relationship, you're still getting to know this person as time goes on. You know, situations happen, you know, things happen in people's lives that have never happened before, and you have to roll with the punches on how they react to it. So yeah, or things may happen to you that you've never experienced before, and you know, that person has to extend that grace to you and understanding like, hey, you're navigating something that you've never navigated before. So I think that I've also learned from my previous relationship that I have way more grace than I thought I ever had. You know, like, you know, I would say like, oh yeah, like I'm not dealing with this, and this. But when the right person comes along, it's not necessarily saying that you are settling for less, but you also know the humanity of a person.
Right.
So, you know, things get complicated. And I think that one thing that has not changed about me, I don't think it ever will, but it might be complicated with dealing in relationships, is that I'm very big on don't do something to me that you know will have you sliding down the wall if I did it to you.
No, we ain't gotta be sliding down the wall.
Like,
not sliding down the wall.
Correct. Like, don't do, like, if you know that you have some things that are like some absolutely nots, like I can't do it, deal breakers, don't, and I may say like, hey, that's not my deal breaker, or I may not express that that's my deal breaker. Don't do it to me. Like, I need you to calculate in your head the things that you don't like and not do them to me, along with the things that I don't like that may not be on your list, and not do those things either. So that's one thing I don't think that I would change about myself, is that, like, don't think that you're the exception to the rule, to your own rules. That's a big no-no for me, because that then tells me that, like, you don't have a consideration of how I may feel to a situation. Like, you're like, oh, like, I don't like that. But for you, you might be able to bounce back. Let's see. Like, I just feel like it's a try me moment. And you're going to try yourself out of this relationship. That's what you're going to do. You're going to try yourself out of it. Please and thank you. Thank you, Nick. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not my thing.
Girl.
But yeah, some other facts. They say to wait 6 months to a year
Okay.
If you've been in a long-term relationship and that is for a year or longer. Someone else said that a month for every year that you were in that relationship before jumping into another one. And then they say that what's too quick to move on is a day or a week or within like a month or two after the relationship is too close. Too fast.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
And then there are 4 stages of the
Oh, you did some
healing
good
stage.
research. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
I
All
did.
right. Uh-huh.
I did. Sure did. There's 4 stages, which is denial. It kind of like grief.
Okay.
But denial, anger, depression, and acceptance. So all the women who are on no contact, just know that you're suffering from the stages of healing from a relationship. So I'm sure that denial, anger, depression is something that is extremely difficult to get through, especially by yourself. And especially and definitely when we're talking about the healing process, like find friends who are willing to allow you the space to talk about it until you don't want to talk about it no more.
That's true.
So I think that that's a crucial point of the healing process when it comes to a breakup, is that you might say, you know what, I'm not talking about him no more. But having friends who also have the understanding, grace, and compassion towards you to say, hey, you may feel like that today, but next week something else might trigger you and you might need to get that off your chest.
That's true. That's true.
You know?
Now I'm looking at that timeline you just gave. I definitely yeah, no, I definitely didn't follow that timeline, baby.
What you mean like you might have skipped some things?
I mean, like, you're supposed to wait 6 months. How you said 6 months?
Oh yeah,
to
so
a
like
year?
if it's after like a year or something like that, then you're supposed to wait like 6 months to a year.
Oh yeah.
But I also think that we know you a boom done girl, so I think that
no, actually, no, no. I will not confirm or deny that I am a boom done girl.
But I think that that's just like advice. It's not necessarily something that you have to live by. I think that it just really depends. Like I just feel like when it comes to relationships, it just depends, because you may have been in a long-term relationship, but emotionally you might have checked out a long time ago.
Yeah.
Or physically you checked out a long time ago. So I don't know if they're counting that time period, or they're counting the time period of when that person left out that house and took all their shit.
Or, block the phone number and all that. And
that's the thing too, is about healing from a relationship, is that we're talking about healing from a relationship of somebody you had a conversation with and saying, hey, I don't think this is going to work out. But I think that ghosting is probably a different set of a different stages of healing, because I'm sure that the denial of being ghosted is probably different than being in denial of like, oh, well, maybe it's not, having that last conversation, be like, well, maybe it's not over, maybe I was too harsh or this and that, versus like ghosting is like impacting like your self-esteem, or being like, well, why, like we had a good conversation, or I thought we had a good first date, and this person just blocked you from their phone to their social media and everything. So it's like, I think that the denial is different when it comes to having a conversation versus like this person just straight up blocked you. And there's some people, sometimes you get ghosted because this person has had these conversations with you over and over and over again, and they might be like, well, they tallied in their mind, because that's another thing I need to work on. They tallied in their mind, like, okay, like I've had this conversation with you, had this conversation with you, had this conversation with you. Now I'm about to go across, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then across.
But is that really ghosting though? Is that? I mean, you've had this conversation multiple times. I just think at that point when a woman's fed up, that's it.
There ain't nothing you can do about
we
it.
don't support it. We don't support it. But
Oh, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot.
But
Sorry.
like, I don't know if I would consider that ghosting, honestly.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that it's just a harsh way of discontinuing the relationship. Like, you don't feel like, hey, like, even having a sit down conversation, like, hey, I've said something about, airing out our dirty laundry in front of friends. Like, we've had that conversation at least 3 times. I don't want to continue a relationship with somebody who disrespects my boundaries or doesn't care about me enough to respect our relationship and what we have going on, and not exposing that to other groups of people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So from this point forward, like, it's over. Versus being like, okay, like, after this dinner, when I get in the car, when you drop me off, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying?
I've definitely done that before. Yes.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, you ain't got to worry about me. That's what it's giving. You ain't got to worry about me. The next time you message me, that message is going to be green.
It's gonna be over with.
It's going to be over with.
Mm-hmm.
You can't find me nowhere.
Nope.
Call me Casper.
Not Casper.
The friendly ghost. Okay. I'm nowhere to be found.
Bree, you
okay.
stupid.
Couldn't find nobody. Okay. Nobody greater. Search high and low. Still couldn't find me. Nobody
You are funny.
Praise the Lord.
Oh my God.
But I've definitely done that too. But I feel like, again, I mean, and again, you're not going to change everything about yourself. But I think that in hindsight, when emotions get back to baseline, I think that you could reflect and be like, I could have had this conversation, but then also, like, how would that conversation have gone? So you have to also assess that as well.
That part right there.
You also have to, because it's like, would this conversation have me end up back in his bed?
In between the sheets.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
not the
that's
eyes
the
list.
question.
Not the eyes list.
I'm just saying, like, sometimes you could be like, and waking up being like, how did we get here?
Right.
Like, that's not where this conversation is supposed to go. I was supposed to leave. And we were both supposed to be single from this point forward. But for some reason, I'm asking you, do you have some toothpaste? I don't quite understand. I'm asking you, hey, are you about to get in the shower? I need to get in the shower before I go on and start my day. Why am I here the next morning? It doesn't make sense. So I agree. I changed my mind. I agree with you. Sometimes ghosting is necessary.
Because it for me, it sets it's a boundary.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's, you know what? I'm done. I am done. There's nothing else that you can say to me at this point. I have said everything I wanted to say, and that might be a little selfish, but I've said everything I wanted to say. Goodbye. Correct. See ya. I guess I see you next lifetime.
Hey, we'll be butterflies.
I see you next lifetime with this husband. Yeah. Okay, that's it.
That's it. For sure.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
All right, Bree. Well, that was a good topic. It's time to
wrap that up.
Oh no, nope. I'm not doing this with you today. I'm America. I'm sorry. I am sorry. I know.
And I won't forget the man who died, who gave their right to me, and I barely stand up.
Oh
next to you.
All right, hit the people with our social media real quick.
Y'all, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Subscribe.
news.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. But until next time.
Season
See you guys later.
2. Season 2 coming to you real soon.
Yay.
We did it.